And we are back today. It's Chaos Day and I love it. So it seems like everybody lost some points. Venom Crest is no longer undefeated. Everybody took an L in 3 days of the split. Let's talk about what happened in this game. I need to understand, why was Venom Crest a little bit behind? Why were they demolished? And why was Native so good?
I love how you phrase that. Why were they a little bit behind? Why were they demolished? And why have they been abandoned by their parents?
He did it in stages of the game.
Yeah.
They were a little bit behind, then they were demolished.
That's true, to be fair. I think it was, honestly, Natives have showed up today. It's more what I was expecting from them. Their carries specifically. I'm going to give huge props to Nulu and Monsieur Sniper. I thought they were very, very impressive. Yeah, and just we didn't really see that out of them in the first week. I am disappointed in Venom Crest though. I voted against them twice in week 1 because I didn't have faith. They tweeted me saying, "Why aren't you voting for me?" So I voted for them, and basically Venom Crest, I'm disappointed in you.
You got you baited. You got you baited. Well,
I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
This is important because we have already someone from Natives ready for the interview. It is Smurfy that is waiting for us. So let's meet him and let's talk about this one. Welcome to the show. And
okay, thank you.
You just went versus Nar. Obviously, it's traumatizing. I understand. Range shop planners shouldn't exist. But you won the game. So let's talk about laning phase and then jump into the game.
Yeah, I mean, laning against Nar is always a bit of a disaster. Especially when the push out doesn't even work. But yeah, I mean, you don't pick this lane to like win the lane. You just play it for the team composition.
Oh, we have a question right now. Is it pronounced Smurfy or Smurf?
I mean, you can call me Smurfy.
No, but you gotta decide, man. It's your name.
Oh, but it's not supposed to be English name, you know.
Oh, so tell me the way it is supposed to be pronounced. Everybody's going to learn right now.
In like Norwegian is like Smurfe.
Smurfe, okay.
But like when you pronounce it with English, it's like Smurf-E. So yeah.
Okay.
It's whatever.
Smurfe, and then if we miss it, it's going to be Smurfy. Okay. So tell me something. The fight for the top 4, because everybody was like, well, is Natives a good team right now? And you just prove it. That you guys are a good team, an amazing team. The fight for the top 4 is looking menacing on day 3 of the split. Do you believe this is the most well-rounded split so far? Are you afraid of the top 4? Are you confident you guys are going to get it?
I mean, I think we're quite confident. We just we started late scrimming, so we're just getting better and better at this point, and yeah. Good to play scrims and playoffs, or not playoffs, but games.
So tell me something. If you had to say one strength from your team, what would it be? What is the strength from Natives right now?
I mean, right now I think we're really good at like reading the map, and the laning phase might be like rough, and we might get caught a lot of times. But I think like over the split we just get better at those mistakes, and we will become a really like solid team.
Okay, love it. Last question for you, by the way. If we got another interview with you, what song would you play on the guitar behind you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a few years since
I got you.
It's been a few years since I played the guitar. Just, I mean, never. I mean, that's a good question actually. Maybe I'll practice some songs for the near future.
Think about it. We'll put that on hold, and throughout the split, I want one song from you on the interview. It could be like a 10, 15 song, just show up something and just smash it, just smurf it, you know? Thank you so much for the interview, and I'll see you soon. Congratulations on the win.
Yeah, see ya.
There you go.
Archer.
Yeah.
I want you to sing a Champ Select for us at some point.
Sing
I want you
a
to whip out the guitar and
Champion
serenade
Select.
the entire Champ
You know
Select.
what? Next game, I'll give you like background music while you're doing the Champion Select. Is it possible?
Yeah, but the problem is I can't sing. Like I'm a drummer. I'm at the back of the room. I do not go near a
I
microphone in that
understand.
sense.
Fox.
So yeah, Foxy
Don't
can
even.
rap
You're
it, I'll
barking
sing
up
it.
the wrong tree. So, so Don't you want it?
Don't worry about it. I'll just give you like the background music, and you guys just can improv and just do the champion select.
atmosphere.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But we need to worry about that hound that is waiting for the interview. We need to understand what happened for Venom Crest. Welcome to the show. Obviously, not the result you were looking for. Everybody was voting on you, so something must have happened. Do you know what happened? Can you identify it?
I think honestly our overall strategy in this game was pretty smart, right? We had the bar set up with the LB and Tabella resets, but I think overall we were just not really aligned on when to go in, and I also think that Natives overall as a team is very good at playing in a certain way where you don't obviously catch them all the time, right? I think they're one of the better teams at being actually worried about Varus ult, LB flanks, so on, right? And I think that led us to have a lot more turbulence compared to the other teams that we've been facing, right? Because I also do believe that even though Lightside won today, right, which was a good upset, I still believe that they were not very strong in V1, and that's also a reason why we were able to show off our performance when we were like just running, right? Because I think being in the driver's seat is always easier, especially in a meta where you're rewarded for snowballing with the void drops.
So tell me something. I see a lot of war between the Varus and the Jhin. Can you tell me like the strengths and weaknesses of those two champions? Which one do you prefer and why?
I think the reason why you see a lot of Varus and Jhin is just because they overall do the same thing, right? Like Jhin is a champion that you can kind of leave on his own, let him be far back, or play crit and go up close, right, towards tanks and do more damage. And I think that allowing a champion with the identity of Jhin, right, being able to just support your team in a way like Ashe, right? I think even Ashe actually into Varus or into Jhin is actually a good answer because you provide more utility for your team in the early game, but you have less burst damage towards squishies, right? So it's a trade-off. But I believe that Ashe is very slept on when it comes to the whole trifecta of like Jhin and Varus.
Love it. So tell me something. On the first week, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Zubak was so active with the champion, like with the Viego going to the bot side. Usually we saw him going for that like early gank on the red side to try and punish the red side team on the bot lane, allowing you and the rest of the team to snowball. And you just stated, snowball is really important right now in the meta. Playing the Bel'Veth kind of stole that away from you guys. Do you think that could be an issue? Or like, no, it just didn't work out for today. The Bel'Veth was not the issue. Where do you see yourself in this one?
I think genuinely Bel'Veth is a champion and also just the overall rotation of junglers, right? I think you can be very aggressive. I just think that in today's games with our draft, I would say on bot lane, right? The Jhin Karma versus the Varus Heimer, I don't think you can really move either side that much, right? It's just about whoever gets the initial push and actually stays ahead in sums will always end up having the prior. And especially with Nocturne being level 6, right? You always have to be a bit wary of him unless you get deep vision, which you can't really accumulate when you're playing Heimerdinger, usually, right? Especially not against pushing bot lane.
I really enjoyed this conversation, man. I really want to talk more with you in the future. You seem really well eloquent and providing the answers. And aside from that one, best of luck to tomorrow. I hope to see you guys win and see what you can improve in the Rift. On the top 4 note, are you worried? Because I need to start making this question. It seems like 7 teams or even 8 teams are looking for that top 4. Are you worried the top 4 might slip from your hands?
I mean, it's week 2, right? I think it's too early to say, but I'm definitely confident in going into the next game tomorrow and also in week 3 that we will just come back swinging even harder than before.
Thank you so much for the answer, and thank you so much for the interview. Best of luck for tomorrow, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Take care.
I was really excited to talk with him. Like, I want to know more. I want to learn more from that hound.
Was that a bit jarring for you, Arch, though? You went from chatting with some of the dumbest men on broadcast to a very well-spoken and intellectual boy. I felt like you'd just been dragged down the whole evening, and then this guy comes in.
I've been on the desk today with Hiprain, and then I got to meet that hound, and I was like, oh, so this is a normal conversation.
Hold on. You're acting like Foxy's not down in this pit with me. Like, I'm quite happy to be down on the low ground, but Foxy's mud wrestling with me right here. Like, it's doomed on this desk, my guy. It's so doomed.
Well, I'm not native, so I like to do this one.
I'm not native. That's not the excuse, man. That's no way.
Of the match with a 12-7, sniping people from afar. Alongside his team, getting that W for natives that nobody, 2 people predicted it. I think so. Initialize was running it down, but somehow we found like Gold. He was looking for copper. He found gold. That's good for the initialize. But let's move on to the next one. It is the last game of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, Verdant versus DMG. What can we say before we go into the background music?
So, I mean, let's be real. After everything that's gone down, a lot of people are very excited for Verdant. It's been a day of upsets, and I predicted DMG. I'm the only person who predicted DMG. I put only 1 point on them, so they've not got too much to lose here. It's definitely a tall ask. It is definitely a tall ask, and you asked me at the beginning of the day why, and I couldn't give you an answer. So I thought about avenues and ways in. I think actually Leon Cole and Person in the bot lane are probably the avenue for DMG to take over this game and to win it. So they're the ones I want to keep my eyes on. They're the ones I want to see, how draft goes in their favor. I hate to say it, but I'm expecting another Jhin Varus handshake. I would love to see something other than Jhin and Varus, but that has been every bot lane today. I expect that to be the handshake. I feel Liam Cole prefers the Jhin. But I'm again kind of pulling that out my bum. I'm not 100% sure if that's the case. But then, yeah, I think bot lane is the one I'm going to keep my eye on here for DMG. If this happens and DMG get another upset, this would be our third upset of the day. Fourth upset of the day. If DMG pull this upset off, first of all, this is an insanely cool day because it is the big old upset day.
Oh my.
Also, I am just Giga Galaxy brain and everyone else can suck it and they're just like, it's time to sign off. It's done.
I think what's interesting about this matchup is it's a tall ask for sure, but not the tallest ask of the day, which would, in my opinion, was Lundqvist and was it Lions Creed or was it Noise that they played? No, it was Lions Creed. Yeah, that was a bigger upset. So I think it's certainly something that's doable as we move on into Champ Select here. Arch is going to be providing the sultry. This is like RPG tavern, style music. Yeah, I'm here for that actually. I'm feeling this.
I got D&D tomorrow, so this is just warming me up for that. Still the bands are looking like Emilio, Ash, Senna, and the Nocturne getting taken away. Pretty much standard stuff across the board on that front. Now looking towards, our final band here for Verdant as we are beautifully serenaded.
I love it
for this picks and bands.
It's what is it? It's a Diablo town music as well. This is what I'm getting. Anyway, yeah. we are playing League of Legends, or we're getting into it. A lot of support takeaways so far. The Nocturne going as well alongside the Ash. You mentioned that handshake between Varus and Jhin. Looks as though we're going to be set up for that again in this one, unless DMG throw a spanner away and maybe decide to ban one of those out. Not going to be the case. Is it going to be Varus' first pick for the fourth game in a row? Yes, it is. Will it be followed by a Jhin on the other side?
I felt like the Jhin was what Liam Cole would rather have, but there might be like a world where he goes, I don't want to play the Jhin and play something entirely different. I'm trying to think like who actually would show up other than Jhin here though in the ADC. We did
Liam
see
Cole's Aphelios is the only.
We
other
did see Aphelios
really.
get hovered. I don't particularly like the Aphelios into the Varus. I mean, scaling wise in late game and team fights, obviously it's going to offer so much. I just worry you're going to have a very rough laning phase, so you're not going to be able to get those expensive items which Aphelios needs to hit those spikes and be able to take over the game. I worry that in a team fight, a loose chain of corruption or a stray arrow hits him and blows him up. But DMG, they're actually all inning here on team fighting and kind of going later into the game. The Orianna, the Aphelios, like one good big wombo combo. If they get some good engage put together here, that could be a really scary kind of thing for Verdant to play into. But I think they're just going to look to play the range tools here. I think the Azir suits them really well. They could pick a support that can peel for them as well, and just look to play as far back as they want.
I was going to say, as soon as that Azir gets hovered and locked in, it is all about the range here for Verdant. So the way you counter that on the side of DMG is you need to be able to pull the trigger.
Rumble.
You need to engage. Yeah.
I actually think Rumble's quite good here.
Yeah, I'd be curious because Rumble is a champion that DMG have actually banned away. I think they banned away in all their games so far. So I don't know whether that implies LVS can't play it or whether it was more of just, those two games, those matchups. But and you need to be able to pull the trigger here. I think Jarvan alongside Orianna, that's fine. You want that engage from your jungler, probably from your support as well. Try and get yourself that nice topside matchup there with against the Cassante, which again I think we've seen every game today, maybe. I think, not sure.
No, he wasn't in the first game. I can't remember what the first game was, but it was a little bit more exciting.
We see him a lot, yes.
But we have had a lot of Cassante. He's been in at least 3 games today.
He was probably banned in that first game, to be fair.
I think they just ignored him entirely. It was really weird. The Gwen is going to get banned away. I think that's fine. We saw not particularly great success, but Gwen actually did get picked up as an answer to Cassante earlier today. Got solo killed, but typically and normally you expect the Gwen to actually win out on that fight. DMG just focusing more on these kind of early skirmishing junglers, looking to deny. Don't really want to be dealing with like an Azir and like a Xin Zhao going in for skirmishes. I do worry what DMG have got right now, though, does mean that they might struggle on the objective game. So I want to see a top laner which can get control of top lane so they can at least secure the early Void grubs in response to these dragons. Because I expect this bot lane just to get giga shoved in and not really be able to play the lane. So I expect you to kind of lose that that first 2 dragons realistically. So now going towards those final bans, the Nar's taken off as well. So another solid pickup into the Cassante. Looking towards something that can maybe skirmish. They actually go for the Aatrox here.
Okay.
I mean, we saw it in game 1. The healing was nasty. It can buy a lot of time for your team. And if they do get in the mess and into the thick of it, it is rough. But the Cassante can kick you out. The Azir can kick you out. It's hard to play Aatrox in this game. I think I would have preferred the Rumble personally.
Yeah.
But they've decided that Aatrox suits them more. And Verdant now, they've got a lot of long-range tools and a lot of things to facilitate that. So I expect 2 engages really to get picked up here. This Rel suits them really well for that. Something that can kind of jump into the middle of the fight and set everyone up. Curious about their jungler, what they're going to pick into the Jarvan, but I would like to see someone who can also initiate fights. We had a Maokai at the beginning of today. I think that also works pretty well with the Rel in that front. Kind of gives you long-range, non-committal engage to go off. So I'd actually be okay with Jolbu picking that one up.
Yeah, I wonder what else they would go for. It's something like
Ego check.
You're kind of reaching pretty deep at this point, aren't you, for your jungle champion pool? It is going to be at least the first time we've seen that so far here in the NLC for Yulbul. That's quite exciting actually. And Rakan instantly slapped down on the other side there for DMG. So Aatrox in top and Rakan in the bot side going to complete and round out DMG's team comp. I think it's very, very interesting choices. There's a lot of go in and engage. I'm glad they did some more go in and engage from DMG there, from their support choice. So you're not just relying on Jarvan, and it's another great setup alongside the Orianna. I do have question marks around the Aatrox, just as you said, Jake, because I think it's very difficult to pilot in this game in those team fights, especially. There's so many peel tools, so many things you have to run through. It can just be, Aatrox wants to be in the thick of it, in the mess of it all, and just healing and hitting loads of people, and that's not going to be easy to do versus Verdant, so it could be tricky there.
If I'm completely honest, I actually feel like DMG just have 2 major flaws in their draft. I think actually I like a lot of what they put together, but I think the problem with the Aphelios is, like we said, he's going to struggle to get the money to get the items he wants to spike. If he can spike, then it's completely separate. Like it's its own thing. But I feel like he's going to struggle to hit that. The Aatrox again, it's very hard to pilot. Like we were saying, you're going to get isolated easily. You're going to get separated. You have a lot of sustain on the champion, but it's going to be hard to do what Aatrox wants to do, which is standing in the thick of it. Whereas I think Verdant have actually given themselves some really, really solid tools in this game. I don't think this game is like completely over. I do think, if this Aphelios gets the gold and the disengage tools are used wrongly, then I think DMG can definitely take over team fights. And a big shockwave, that's enough. Like, one big shockwave just wins the fight and wins the game. So that's always something you got to keep in mind when you're playing into the Orianna. The lane's wider as well now, so harder to gank an Orianna as well. So there's tools. There's definitely tools here. Thank you for the music, Arch.
Champion Select says he's done, and I gotta say, it is way longer than I thought it would be. So I'm about to send it to the casters as I'm bleeding. Take it away for the last game.
Thank you very much, Ashram. Beautiful little music number there. Aragon and I agreed that was more Walking Dead vibes, though. Did enjoy the draft still. A lot of questions about the draft, Aragon. You told me before we went on that was a very clear winner of this draft there. Mind elaborating who?
So I think that Verdant came out on top, right? So I'm looking at the drafts now, and so a clear plan from DMG. It looked like, so you secure your comfort in Aphelios early into Varus, which is already questionable, right? Because you're out of range. So I'm not a big fan of that. And then you get R5 counterpick to maybe salvage the lane after they blind their support pick. But the problem is then they counterpick themselves with Rakan into Rel. And so the lane now is going to be absolutely miserable, and I'm really scared of slow pushes into dives and how the trading goes, because it's going to be really hard for Liam Cole to play, in my opinion, catch waves with the threat of the dives. You have some nice ball delivery with a Jarvan Orianna. I believe Hitbrain was talking about that, which is true, right? As long as they can pull that off. If they can survive bot lane, right, and eventually get the ball delivery online with the Rakan follow-up, that nice little micro interaction trio is really solid, but getting there is going to be challenging. At the very least, they have counterpicks in the top side with Orianna and Aatrox into their fellow matchups.
Keep walking back, keep walking. Okay, so...
A little bit scary.
Trying to do something here early, they will spot out Percy, but can't find Liam Cole, and that's the important one. And I do really like the point you're bringing up, Aragon, about this is about, can DMG survive the early game with what they've drafted? And it was the same question we had when we saw them in the first game of the split up against Lions Creed. That was not only because it was up against Lions Creed, but because they kind of drafted the same situation. If you look at the bot 3 players, like Agony, Pain, Liam Cole, and Persson, it was the exact same draft, except for the Rakan being swapped up for the Milio.
Oh no.
Scooby now finds Liam Cole, who does have the clinch and flash, holds on to both of those things, so in the end, just takes a little bit of damage, but that's not good, considering you will already be struggling in the lane. They do get the ward though, so it's the XP lead, the XP difference, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Early wards, early scouting on the individual clears. We'll have to see how the junglers want to play out this one. Priority in the mid and top should go over to the side of DMG, but just watch this Verdant bot lane, man. It's not going to be pretty. These trades should go over to the side of Verdant as well as lane priority, and I imagine Shift on this Jarvan is going to have to do some covering on some slow pushes.
And that's what I want to see DMG have been able to adapt on from the first time we saw them play the Aphelios bot lane to now. I want them to be able to make him survive, because otherwise you're just drafting yourself into a situation where you can't get to the point where you can win the game. As you said, if you get dived 3-4 times, as the Aphelios here, the game is very hard to win. You want to be able to survive that early game, and you need to. And for Liam Cole, a player that I did like on Vanilla last year, I thought he was good, but he was fantastic on that Aphelios. So far, 2 games on that Aphelios. If it doesn't work, I'm starting to get worried for DMG. A roster that I didn't actually rate walking into the split.
Yeah, assistance pings coming down for the side of DMG's bot lane, which is a bit weird.
Already?
Right? Do you typically ping when you have comms like that? But anyway, assistance ping made it worried about receiving this wave and scared of a 3-wave stack into a dive from Julbu. But Julbu's not going to go for it. And it looks like Liam Cole's going to be able to catch this wave just nicely. Trade's coming out. I think he should be okay. Has a potion, fall back on if he needs to. Full clear coming from both junglers, and we'll see if a play can be made around this scuttle grab.
Misses the cannon as well early on, so what Verdant are doing here is at the very least denying some minions, even if they won't be able to find the dive, which I doubt they will, unless they get the help from Julbo. But looking at the broader picture here, the perspective of this game, Aragon as a whole, Verdant, a roster that I at the very least hyped a lot coming into the split. I know the other casters from chatting with them rated them as one of the better teams in our league at the very least. I think they have a good roster. Obviously, it is 5 Danes, but that's not the main point. I do just think they have 5 players who should at the very least get playoffs and maybe even aim for the final, to be honest with you. I even predict them to come first in the regular season. And they didn't look good in week 1. They had a very, very drawn-out second game. The first game they lost against Ruddy, where they had the good early game, but they just couldn't close it out before they got outscaled, and I haven't been too impressed by them. And for DMG as well, a roster that not as many people rated, but I look at this and know 3 of the bot lane players, I know these guys can definitely participate in NLC Div 1 and be competitive, and they just weren't that in week 1. So both of these rosters have so much to prove, and that just means the tension in this game is just that bit higher, because they both want to show, both of these teams want to show that they can deliver what we expected.
Yeah, a lot of names we know, a lot of names that we don't know, but still going to be a lot of high-skilled players, especially my eyes go towards that top side. LVS, good player, as well as Doxy, a long history in tournaments like MSI is. Second rotation Raptors come in. And Shift steals them, throws the thumbs up. And yeah, gonna get the better of Jolbu in that one, as Jolbu maybe looks for a dragon here, potentially spawning in 20 seconds. We'll have to see what he goes for. Maybe a bot side gank here.
A lot of good individual players in this game, that is for sure. A lot of these players
take a look at the pings.
Yeah,
sorry to cut you off. Take a look at the pings down bot side on that wave. They want to play and play on that wave. There was assistant pings on that wave that's coming now. So maybe after these Krogs, you can have Jolbu dive here, set up so many pings coming down. Shift knows it as well. Maybe on this control ward.
The thing is, though, it seems like Verdant know where Shift is picking his 2 camps, saying he's probably one of these 2 plays, but they're still wanting to force this play. As Liam Cole stepping up, wanting to clear out this wave, making sure that if he gets dove, he would have at the very least caught some of the wave and wouldn't be losing it all. Instead, Drake seems to be the priority. Shift is pathing away, he's not rotating down to cover. The DMG bot lane survive, but it is at the price of the first Drake.
And this is why I keep talking about bot lane prime being so important. It's so easy. This lane is just auto win, right? I could be auto-filled here and win this lane because of how strong the matchup is. And you can just secure dragons for free. So we're getting the standard, dragon on blue side for the red side grubs trade, because the red side bot lane is really struggling. You see Rakan opening through mid, but it's just inevitably going to go down bot side to help Liam Core catch this wave, and Shift going to secure these little grubbies as Orianna, Agony Pain on this Orianna comes to help.
And you've talked a bit about the fact that we know a lot of the names of the players here. Looking at this Void Grub, and Doxy in particular, doesn't want to step up. Well, maybe he does with Yulbu coming in. Story points here, hard to get out. Always just teasing the action. But regardless, what I want to say, we have a lot of individual mechanical players on both of these rosters. In particular, I'm looking at both Agony Pain and Doxy. You've mentioned Doxy's been to MSI, that is completely correct, but he's also been one who's been around the block in terms of ERLs, but in the Danish Red Bull solo queue qualifiers, both of these players in particular have had standout performances and made it to our LAN finals, actually playing against each other at Gamebox event just a couple of years ago. That was when Agony Pain was also the first player to reach Challenger in EUS, so both of these players know how to play the lane, know how to play mechanically well, but especially Agony Pain, one of his first team experiences on DMG, has struggled to translate that good individual player laning phase into the team-wide perspective.
Right, absolutely. And Shift coming into top side here, I think this is a misstep. You can't kill a Cassante like this for sure, unless you perfectly combo, but he has so many tools.
Oh, he oversteps maybe? Oh, flash, pull, back, he wants his Doxy.
Oh, he has no W.
Tries to go for the 1v1. Shift goes forward though, the auto steals so little damage. LVS though, still able to fight it. Julbo gets the good knock up. Oh, the juke around. The damage, not quite there though. And despite the fancy moves, he can't find the counter kill. Julbo though, made it look flashy, but it's DMG that claimed the prize.
And the Observer's tricking me out.
Oh, LVS,
might be dead.
Minion
auto?
Oh, not quite enough. 21 HP and he is out. On a knife's edge, he survived, but Julbo, man, those mechanics.
Shift there though with the counter gank, knowing that Yulbu is gonna come up topside. The Observers tricked me there. I didn't quite see Yulbu there coming up Yulbu there coming up for this gank, and he turns up, but Shift is there, combos out Doxy. Doxy uses W to dodge out some damage as well as the CC. Unfortunately, doesn't have it up. Then he gets comboed and killed by Shift. So really good play from the DMG top side. Really impressed. Nice layering CC and this counter pick coming in from the Aatrox, doing work.
And the game so far delivering in terms of the mechanical skill. Doxy wanted that 1v1. Shift made him pay for it. Julbo almost made Shift pay in return. So very back and forth so far. The gold pretty even, but when you zoom out again, we look towards the bot lane we talked about earlier. DMG are surviving. Yes, they're behind 400, 500 gold, and they will likely lose a couple plays before this laning phase is over, but they haven't been dove yet, and that is the positive news.
Yeah, getting a 20 CS lead is pretty solid, but I think Liam Cole can be mostly happy with this. He'll be incredibly comfortable on the champion, he knows how to play, and Julbu not finding anything down bot side. Instead, trying to get this Aatrox up top side. We'll have to see what he does next. Potentially look for a shuffle onto control mage using that Azir sec, right? That is definitely an option. Or head down bot side here, but that Tribush is warded, so probably not.
Yeah, Julbo looked for it. He was fishing. Didn't catch anything on the hook. Shift nowhere in sight, so if Redden want to force this, they certainly can. Kaz and Liam Cole, though, both having full sums and ultimates, especially that Severum healing gun, will make Liam Cole kind of hard to kill. So they're backing off. Not overstaying their welcome or forcing plays that could flip the game on its head. As we talked about earlier, a lot of tension in this game as both teams, a lot to prove left in the NLC. And today has really been the day for the underdog reigning supreme. Lungfish Lightside taking that massive win against Lion Creed, proving that they belong in the NLC. And also Natives with a statement win against the only undefeated team we had left in our league. Now though, Duxie might be a bit too over-eager in the 1v1 once again. Shift shows his face, and with that Duxie has the respect that he needs to and backs off. Now though, hit by the flag and drag. Is the damage there? Not quite the Cassante take, especially with all that armor already invested. So Duxie able to get out.
Yeah, props to Cassante, so props to Doxy, but Cassante honestly is one of those ungankable champions in the game, right? You almost never want to really try. Still, managing to make it work, at least chunking him. I really want to see Verdant put more pressure onto Agony Pain on this Orianna, get his flash somehow, send up the rel if you have to. Maybe Agony Pain's just playing too well. I don't think he takes this. It'd be a bit scary.
I mean, Lee Sin Syndrome though, Aragon. You never really know.
A flashless Orianna is a super big avenue you can attack. So I really want to find them a way to do this. In the river especially, if she was ever caught out by an Azir sec, she is gone. So, let's see that. Vision on PlayStation right here. They're going to have to sweep everything out. But it looks like these grubs are going to be the point contention now.
Crux? Oh, not Crux, sorry. Grubs.
Shift?
The contention, as you say. Yeah, that's Shift. Behind enemy lines. PlayStation. Not spotted here. The grubs are being taken as we are speaking. Yulbo. He's focusing those down. PlayStation can stop this from happening though. He now knows what is happening as that first drop is being taken. It is a death for PlayStation. Nothing you can do, not even get the crash down. And Yulbo now trying to run, but he's locked up inside the cage. Has the flash though. But Agony Pain caught out, locked up as Scooby takes that one. Doxy would like to get more here. As you say, does have the all out. Can he connect on the W? Not quite the Q. Neither, but here comes the all out. LVS the target. He doesn't have the world ender, and that will be his world gone for now. As he falls down, can they get something back? Doxy, as you say, playable situation here, but the damage not there. Verdant win the fight, and they get the prize as well, being those Void Grubs.
A huge skirmish with Liam Cole just sitting bot side, but he might be dead on this crash.
Yeah, he's overstayed his welcome, and he will pay for his sins. He might get Goopy, but no, the heal keeps him alive, and instead it's Liam Cole who pays the price. 3 kills, Void Grubs, and everything in the world at this moment going towards the favor of Verdant.
Yeah, Verdant managed to make a play on the top side, but also deny the cross map onto Liam Cole after they crash, and Liam Cole tries to take those platings. You thought that DMG's jungler, Shift, had a huge flank there after waiting for Azir to recall, but managed to buy enough time. PlayStation does get popped, but in the end, the long fight with Doxy and with Jolbu, they managed to pull it off, and in the end, it goes massively the way of Verdant.
Agony Pain being a little bit annoying here, forcing the flash actually from PlayStation. I guess PlayStation, not knowing exactly where the DMG members were, didn't want to be too far forward.
Yeah, also doesn't want to be chunked, right? Doesn't want to be chunked just in case there's a dragon contest, wants to save his HP, rather than waiting and then flashing later. Still, gets a reset in, might have his first item here, potential Trailblazer. Want to see how much gold he has, maybe it's too early. Still, game going to be fairly neutral for now, as Errol goes topside. We'll see if he can Azir shuffle over this big wall.
Yeah, Emperor's Divide is available, so is the flash. LVS does has one of his own. Uses it smartly, as I fumble my words. So does Eol on that sliding glide. The Emperor's Divide did get delivered, but not on the target. Didn't use the flash, so it's a forced that 5-minute cooldown. He's happy with himself. Didn't lose much in the mid lane. He can walk back and pick up the win.
Yep. Just an attempt, right? Popping a flash is always decent. Errol doesn't really lose anything for it. Manages to catch the wave on the backside as... You know, that's a striking difference in the bot lane in terms of item completions. Liam Cole delayed his item by buying a Cull, so 10 more CS on that one. Might have a Kraken Slayer, but you can see Shift trying to make him play down bot side. Gonna be a 3v2, but I think he's been spotted out with that ward in the back push there.
You know where I'm going? You could call him Liam Cole. That was a horrible pun. Thank you for the reaction. Moving on.
You stun locked me.
I stun locked you. Is that good or bad though?
Just let it simmer. We'll just let it simmer.
Right? Doesn't make it any better, man. Give me a reaction. Come on. I need some compassion here. Just, you know. I rarely hit a good joke, and I was actually pretty proud of that one. I thought, proud. It was a decent pun. I'll give myself that much credit. As Harold is now on the rift. Yulbu is in the area, but he's not going forward instantly. Talking about Yulbu though, he's someone who I was really excited to see return to our league. He's by no means a rookie in terms of playing in the ERLs and being around the block, but he started back in our own Danish league, right, Aragon? And he was mediocre at best. He wasn't that good, to be honest. He was known for his crackers, and that was it.
And did he have a glow up?
He went around. he has had a glow up. I've followed him when he's been to the Baltics. He's been to the Elite Series as well. Especially in the Elite Series, he's been at multiple stints, always being the best jungler in the league. As far as I've watched, obviously I don't watch every game of the Elite Series. I'm sorry to all those guys who watch that league. But he has been dominating when I've watched. And I've also seen a lot of Twitter on him getting extra coaching, giving everything to improve. And I was really excited to see him back. I think this could be his split, and he's been mechanically good so far as the other jungler, though, Shift, is the one to find the play around the Herald. It's 2 so far, but the 4-man kick! The piercing arrow as well! And exactly as I talk about him, he goes back in! That is insanity for Verdant! The triple kill for Aeon, that's the ace for Verdant!
And the perfect team fighting with the massive kick setup from Jolbu into the Emperor's Divide as we instantly to replay. Take a look at this. So the ball delivery comes down, but it's only onto PlayStation. That's problematic, right? Because now they can completely play without any threats onto their carriage. Jolbu with a beautiful kick. The 5-man arrow, the 5-man E into the 5-man play with a Shurima shuffle.
I have been stun-locked by that play, man. Verdant!
That was beautiful. Honestly, that was one of the best plays I think we've seen all
Define
split.
perfection, man. That was insanity. Danish Dynamite delivering a bomb there on the Rift.
Yeah, it's good timing. You were hyping up Jolbu and he gets that kick, man. That was
5-man kick.
Everything lined up perfectly there, and all the gold goes over to Errol with that quadra kill, man. This guy is gonna be overloaded. He already has his Nashers and a needlessly large rod at 16 minutes. His death cap is gonna be online soon as LVS, I'm pretty sure Errol wins in melee range, mate. I'm not going to go for it.
And this game has just taken a different turn. All of a sudden, the gold is in the favor of Verdant, and look where all the kills are sitting, Aragon. It is on Gubi, it is on Errol. And DMG, who started up the Herald, decided, no, we will win the fight instead. They won none of it, and now they're losing the Herald as well.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I can't get over that. That's so much better than last week. I think last week we were kind of a little bit disappointed with the games. Dropping a game versus Ruddy was unexpected, but now we understand that Ruddy's actually a pretty solid team still. And versus Nord, they had a lead but through. But seeing that synergy in that team fighting, I am really happy about that. Still, Rift Herald going to come down, going to crash in here. They're just going to be able to secure this tier 2. No cross map on the bot side either. Going to just settle for some bot side vision to potentially secure second Drake, but this isn't a good trade. You're going to lose so much damage and potentially a tier 2 tower if Errol goes unchecked.
And despite there before being a small lead for Verdant, that they were doing well, I was feeling pretty confident for DMG. They were scaling up, they'd survived the laning phase. As I talked about Agri Pain, good laning player. He went out even with the Errol, didn't do anything amazing, but he by no means made many mistakes. Liam Cole, yes, he had died once, but he was still in the game, he was scaling up. I thought they had all the points they needed to be able to take the game, but no. Instead, Verdant flipped it on his head. Now they'll find something backdoor on Guppy. They need to get this kill, and they do. The shutdown over to Agni Pain, but it's traded 1-for-1. Still, though, getting that shutdown. They are happy with that until Errol comes in to secure his 5th kill on the game on to Liam Cole.
Yeah, Liam, you could tell what Liam Cole tried to do there. Walk downwards to avoid the bounce of that Shurima shuffle. Still not enough. Doesn't quite get walk far enough. Still has to walk into the enemies to be able to do that. And I'm really surprised that DMG didn't try to make a play down boss side. Have Oriana cross map onto that turret. Maybe the scared of the 1v2 from Doxy. Still not quite there. As the replay comes in. Let's take a closer look at this. The damage comes in. Really big ball delivery, and PlayStation managed to keep one. Now, where's Errol in all of this? He managed to come from topside first. A TP, it looks like, with home guards. And the tip of that Shurima shuffle wall managed to connect.
And in the picture-in-picture, they pick up the second Drake of the game as well. And this must feel good for Verdant. You just hit on this point as well, but both these teams having something to prove. Domino still have more to prove, but Verdant looking way better than they did in that first week. The thing is, can they now close it out? Because I don't want to praise them too soon. I did that with Nord earlier, where I said they're looking way better, and then it took them an additional 10 minutes to close out the game. I want to see these teams be able to confidently, and maybe not easily, because I would like to think all the teams in our league are good and will put up a fight, but, you know, confidently be able to close out games within a decent time frame and not have to spend 10-15 more minutes throwing a couple fights here and there. And that's just not thinking for the fluency of our league and my confidence in it. But it's also, as we are slowly but surely looking towards EMEA Masters, Aragon, I'm tired of being embarrassed on the big scene. I want us to do well again. So I want a team that can make that happen.
Yeah, and we got to see which team that ends up being this year. Regardless, though, I think it's smooth sailing for Verdant now. He's just going to have to play through bot side, secure that tier 2 bot, secure that tier 2 mid and tier 1 mid as well, make them really uncomfortable and choke them out with vision. And Bob's your uncle. Honestly, this isn't that hard of a game to play out now. They can play for Soul too. They have a Bob's your uncle. You never heard that expression?
Bob's your uncle? No, I've never heard of that.
There's no way
when do you use that saying?
There's no way you haven't heard our 6 British casters and analysts say that ever in your life. You say it when something's like, you know, it's done and dusted. You heard that one?
Yeah, done and dusted. Yeah, of course I've heard that one.
I mean,
I know this. I know the simple English sayings. It is my second language, but I do mostly dabble in the Danish sayings, and I do believe they are of a higher quality. Regardless, though, that is not the point. I want to ask you one simple question, Aragon. DMG, Baron is now on the map. Verdant obviously wants to take it. What can DMG do to keep this game going and continue scaling up?
It's got to be a dream Ori delivery ball into a dream Aphelios R, but this Deathcap Nash's Baron is going to start up maybe, you know, there's a turn here afterwards, but I don't think so. This is going to go down really quick.
Yeah, 6k and dropping will work.
Shift got in.
Yeah, I don't think they want a 50-50 this early on. They don't want to delay the game more than needed. Yeah, Agony Pain stepping up, but surviving for now. Okay, so poke. They stopped them from the Baron. I guess that's something. Back to your point, Aragon. How do we delay the game if you're DMG?
I think it's incredibly difficult,
and
right?
just pray.
I think Verdant actually could have committed to that dragon if they had Gooby on flank watch and stopped Shift from coming in, maybe wasting his time. But they didn't want to risk it at all, which is understandable, completely fair. They're in such a driver's position already. They can just restart it if they want to. Play for continuous vision around topside, so every single time they walk in, they're under pressure. And with this Azir, they can keep trying to one-shot it. But alternatively, 2 minutes to dragon, you shift your vision down to bot side, you push out bot and mid and top, and head over there. And that's like what they're going to do.
So the game, not quite over, but not putting that pen to the metal.
Ooh, more pinks coming down to Baron. PlayStation.
They do want to take it, and as you said, they do take it quickly with the 2 items here. The wards have been cleared out. Persson can't get in this time. Seems like they want to commit to it, just making it that much harder for DMG to even get any vision. Is there a ward in Shift's pocket? Yes, there is. One control ward, but yet again, as soon as they know, okay, they can contest, they back off. They don't want to take the 50-50.
Yeah, and honestly, all this stalling is pretty good for DMG. Not finding the Baron is really, really important, but still, they have 1 minute now and to decide if they're going to contest this 3rd dragon. So I'm not sure which dragon this is. Maybe you can fill me in here if you manage to see it.
It's the Mountain Soul.
It's the Mountain Soul. Okay, so for the Mountain Soul, that's actually really big for the initial burst of the Orianna and the ball delivery. So we'll see. We'll see if they decide to contest it or they try to cross-map tier 2 as the side of DMG. But I think they have to, right? It's just too much to give of a soul point every single time. So both teams going to move over to mid. See Liam Cole shifting over as well as the Orianna going to move through mid too.
And when you're talking about why delaying is good for DMG, well, you can instantly just look into the pocket of Liam Cole. Look at his components, desperately needing that 2nd item. He might be an item behind, but it does look worse than it really is because his items are very expensive while Goopies are very cheap. So Liam Cole really wants to take an item. I do believe he has the gold now, as that's the reason he is recalling. So he is able to contest, but the poke definitely sticking. You can see it here, Agony Pain. Using a lot of mana on shielding himself, still losing HP every now and then. Gooby feeling good. Erol in the extended fights dealing a lot of damage, and it's hard for DMG, but it's not impossible yet. And Persson has gone on a deep mission to maybe look for a flank. No, they're playing for the Drake. I'm not sure what he's doing in No Man's Land.
Yeah, it's just going to be an easy secure, right? It's going to be no-brainer here. I think you take this and then you potentially play for bot side tier 2 turret, but the problem is you don't have that much siege. You don't really want to overextend too hard. You can have Errol try and hit it, but it's always a decision of whether or not you want to play for tier 2 bot side or this Baron rush, and I think they could do either, so it's really up to them here.
Yeah, the Mountain Drake will go down. The Mountain Soul now lays in Verdant's pocket. Or not quite yet, but the Soul Point is in that pocket. Soul should follow in 5 minutes unless DMG by that time have something to say about it. 2 items coming through that Infinity Edge has been finished. Sundered Sky has been completed as well by LVS, giving him that extra bit of healing. For Erol, obviously, we've talked about the 2 item spiking a million times, but god damn, is it powerful. Outside of Julbo, Doxy have completed as well.
I want them to do this Baron. I think they can just absolutely do it, but they seem so terrified. Like, just have Cassante or Gooby on this Cassante, or have someone stop the Jarvan from entering. You have so many tools to turn as well with Varasol, you know, so many turning options over the wall as well. I really want Verdant to do that rather than just playing this slow game for this Dragon. They have the tools to play more proactively, so let's see it. They are all going mid now. Doxy is going bot, but he has TP.
Yeah, so DMG, they have the tools to fight. They've reached those 2 item spikes, so they might have a chance, but as you said earlier, it needs to be near perfect. Keep your eyes on Erol's inventory. He does have that stopwatch. The stopwatch. It is now the Seeker's Arm Guard. That is the new stopwatch if you are confused about it. So he can go golden. If he gets caught out, he might be able to still survive. Shift, able to flag and drag away to safety. And just look at the control that Verdant that easily gain of a huge area of the Rift. Eyes back on the Baron, and they really don't want to flip it. And I like that in concept, but only to a point. You can't just not flip it at all. Like, then you need to try and do something, because you're delaying the game here.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? If they want to play this controlled style, that's absolutely fine. Push in top and mid and get more vision around the top side jungle, and eventually choke them out and then make it incredibly hard for them to contest. Now, that's exactly what they're going to do, but I'd be a little bit scared for Gooby here. He could get his flash popped. Still not going to happen. That's the problem, right? You need the carries to blow their flashes so that your ball delivery can't be flashed. They need this Rakan or Rihanna Jarvan setup to be able to pull it off at this next Dragon, or just generally. But it doesn't look like it. Errol hitting over the wall. He is so strong. He's almost at the Zhonya's as well. Does have that stasis from the Seeker's Arm Guard, so any engage onto him is going to be nullified.
Yeah, Shift won't be able to secure the red buff for his team. Instead, force the flag and drag out to safety. And I really do agree with your point. I do think, though, a silver lining for DMG is, if it's Person who goes for the engage, he might be able to change CC them, and neither Gooby or Erol has any form of cleanse. They would have to one-shot Erol, and as he goes towards the Baron, now might be the time. But for Gooby, though, he does have the flash, yes, but if you lock him up, you can easily change CC him and burst him. But look at the Baron, though. The damage he's taking is absolutely incredible. They don't have vision in the pit. It's 6k and dropping. Shift. You need to get in there, buddy. You need to get some sort of vision control. You can now see how low it is. But look who's stopping him from getting in. It's Doxy. The fight starts on the other side. PlayStation goes to the 3 others. But Shift still looking to try and steal this away. Yulbu kicks him out. Flashes back in. Wants to take it. Can he get it? It's a 50-50.
Oh
it's stolen. But does it really matter if you lose them all? 3-man Shockwave provides absolutely nothing. 3 Barons gone for DMG, but they denied. And that's all that matters at this point.
And Shift with the hero play manages to steal it. Baron got a bit too low from the side of Verdant, getting it down to 2k. And managing with that Cataclysm to do a bunch of damage alongside that AoE from Errol. That's what we wanted. Managing to get past Doxy, and maybe that's why they were so scared of starting up the entire time. They get a bit impatient, want to do it, and I agree with the call. But still, not going to work out, not going to secure the Baron. Still managing to take out a bunch of turrets, and honestly, it's probably still really good for Verdant. Now, Dragon spawning up in a minute 20. They need a bunch of vision down bot side after losing that play. What can DMG get done with this Baron? And the answer is probably not a lot. They're still so incredibly behind.
Yeah, it's more about denying it, and now Aragon, you and I have a minute to regroup, refocus, look at what's been used in that fight, what power spikes have been hit. Erol unable to get that Sonya's Hourglass, still has the Seeker's Arm Guard available. Flashes, though, not blown on either Erol or Gooby. Crucially, they should still be able to get out if they get engaged upon, unless the change CC is perfect. But Liam Cole and Agony Pain also keeping their flashes. And the one I really want to highlight, it's Person. He can find a flank, he does have both summons. Ultimate should be up for a fight around the soul spawning in 30 seconds.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's going to be all about that ball delivery. Pearson's part of that, right? Absolutely going to be part of that, but it's also up to the Jarvan. Now, are they going to give over this Dragon Soul? It's going to be absolutely rough, but they're face checking. They don't have any vision to be able to, punish a face check on themselves with that ball delivery onto Gooby, but he has flash. So what are your options? It's going to be really tricky.
You can see the poke. The longer they think about it, the lower the HP bars will get. LVS rotated down. It is clear the DMG will make a stand. Shift. Gets the vision. Doesn't go in. Doesn't have the flash himself. Person spotted. Yes, he has the flash. But as long as he's seen, there is time to react. He's still on the Warhorn on that Q. Hits 3 piercing arrow, forces backing down to half. Doxy keeping Person away, so it seems like DMG might go for the turret instead, but they'd give up the soul. Agony Pain almost dead. Could recall TP back in. He does still have the Baron. The traps are being put down by Liam Cole to deal some damage, but they are being corralled into a small area. Yulbo could look for the kick here, maybe on 5 men again. Look at the piercing arrows. It's almost a solo kill. Liam Cole, locked up, will be taken down in an instant. He tries to survive for now, but his future is not that long. He's gone, he's out, and same goes for the rest of DMG. 4-4, Verton can claim the soul, but maybe they just go for the end here.
Yeah, it's just an absolute disaster. If you don't find the ball delivery, that's all your hopes gone. But the problem is they have sums and then they outrange you. So you don't want to engage, only if you're engaged to be flashed and whiffed and then killed after. But then you also need to engage because of the outrange. And we just saw the damage Gooby was able to pull through here with those blighted arrows.
Agony Pain trying to do what he can. Maybe he can bide the time, pass it up in 5. 10 seconds though, still on shift. And it seems like Verton have agreed they cannot end the game. The shockwave invested to deny the minion wave. So if they fight instantly now, it'll be hard for DMG to win, but that would have been the answer regardless if that ultimate was up or not.
Absolutely. Just gonna reset, gonna head on top side 2 now. It should be easy as anything. All you have to go is top side as 5 and wait for the minions to come in. You can maybe even send someone down bot to threaten and engage like the Azir, but yeah, let's take a look at this replay a bit closer. They just corralled them, like what you said, right? And take a look at the range. Agony Pain goes down to 1 HP. And this is why Aphelios historically has hated playing his long-range champions. Ziggs comes to mind, right? Varus is the exact same thing, which is why I was surprised to see it in draft come out. And then it's just a slaughter, isn't it? Gooby just runs through everyone. Errol collapses from a different angle. And now you feel like you're just waiting. You're just waiting for the Nexus to blow up. But one last stand, maybe? A death bush? Fnatic death bush? One last chance.
It's a bit of the problem of I want to play comfort and I'll play regardless of what. And I have no doubt, we all know Liam Cole is so good at Aphelios, but he just doesn't get to show it when he's in these very, very hard matchups where he can't really do anything in the fights. And it sucks to see because we know how good he can be. He just doesn't really get to show it. Now that they're trying to force their hand and they're looking for Gooby, they've CC'd him up, but he's far from done yet. He's going low, but not dead yet. It is Agony Pain who tries to find Erol, and he's low as well, but they just can't finish anyone off. They're all still alive. No one on Verton dies. Finally, Gooby falls, but it might be too little too late. Liam Cole in the front line as Erol goes golden to deny his own death. Verton might have just sealed the victory. They'll push forward here as Agony Pain and Pearson is all that stands between them and their second win of the split.
And they find and engage, but it's too late. Agony Pain is also not there to completely go synergize as Doxy.
Might be a bit too eager here. The shield coming in just a couple seconds, and no, he was not. Agony Pain survives. If he can get back, there might be hope, but no. Yeah. The Sonic Wave connects. Erol has his piece. It's a double 11-0-6 for him as Verton cruise their way to their second victory on the top of the NLC standings.
Yeah, clean and kind of clinical. Right, you could tell they're trying to be extremely disciplined. Jolbu, I don't think we can talk much about this game outside of that massive kick. The 5-man kick into the 5-man Shurima shuffle really sealed the deal. Some issues in draft, though, I have for DMG. Maybe they have their own justifications. I don't know. Maybe the analysts can give us some explanations to what they think is potentially up with that, but I wasn't a big fan of it.
Yeah, neither was I. And I think DMG, that's probably the approach they need to make. Agony Pain, I talked a lot about how good I think this guy is. He's doing well in lane. We are seeing glimmers of it, but he just doesn't have the impact on the Rift that I need to feel from someone that I know has the mechanical ceiling that he has. I hope we get to see it. I hope we get to see this roster soon pick up a victory, because there is no doubt in my mind there is talent in that group. It just hasn't worked out so far. Nowhere near what I hope from this team. And it's a bummer to see, but for Verton, they look to potentially be back on track. We'll find out more about that as our analysts will discuss it right after this break.
Break it down, step on the gas, let's get out of town. We're gonna break out and have some fun. We're gonna do what you never done. Oh yeah. Come on, take your body with you. It's a money weekend. Everything we wanna, we go do. We go do, and slash we go do.
Verdant takes down DMG at the last game of day 3. That ties them up at the top of the leaderboard with a lot of teams with a 2-1. So this is going to be interesting. Meanwhile, it seems like DMG are still searching for their first victory. But in order to understand that, because I saw the game, I was like, okay, first of all, it seems like it's kind of tied up, and then we got that play. We got that play.
Do I break yet?
Calm down.
I'm breaking.
I want to talk about the play before you lose it.
Go on, go. I will hold.
Let's talk about the game-changing moment where we see a perfect kick, followed up by the chain, followed up by Errol's ultimate from Azir. Like, that was beautiful. That was synergy.
Yes, it was a good wombo combo, and I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna throw it out there. When you're playing against a team that has a lot of, shall we say, small compacted damage, skill shots and the like, playing in choke points probably isn't the one, and DMG found that out the hard way. To be fair to them, and I will give them slight credit for it, they had played well up until that point, more or less, and I think they were kind of just feeling it. You know, sometimes when you're, especially when you're the underdogs, you really do need to go for momentum and just, you know, just not, I don't want to say not think about things too much, but you definitely, you know, don't want to overthink things, because it's really easy to second guess yourself and just be like, you know, realize what you're up against and think, oh, but this, but that, and then you just kind of beat yourself. So I kind of respect they were always wanting to push forward. Unfortunately for them in that situation, Verdant punished them perfectly, and yeah, like Goobies, you know, arrows and whatever in that choke point around Baron was crazy. The kick was really, really good as well. And I just think it was a little bit too much for DMG. So we did see a lot of upsets today here on the NLC, and I don't know what's going to happen as we move forward here, specifically when it comes to playoff spots. But DMG unfortunately weren't able to cap our day out with their own version of an upset.
Before I give it to you, Hipbrain, I know it's coming. I know the train is coming. Let's go and talk with Yubo, and then we'll talk about what you want to talk about. Yubo, thank you for the interview. Welcome to it. Congratulations on the victory, first of all. And this is a perfect way to end day 3 for you guys, no? Like, you're the top of the leaderboard, tied up with other teams. How do you feel about this?
Well, thank you for having me, and thanks for yeah. Well, I'm pretty happy with how we're going. I think we were a bit disappointed in the start that we started off with a loss. To be honest, we were a bit shocked, a bit. Yeah, so I think it's good. We are getting a bit better, and I think our read on the meta is very good. And I think this game showed that we can play a pretty good game, even though our early game was a bit meh, I would say. And then the Baron flip, or yeah, the coordination was a bit off. But yeah, overall a fine game.
So even though you're at the top of the leaderboard, you still understand, like, oh, we have some parts of our team play or our gameplay that still needs to be adjusted. So that is really important. Although you tie up at the leaderboard, you know, hey, we're still not where we want to be, correct?
By far. And I think we haven't had a lot of time to scrim before the split started. So we are also getting getting all the fundamentals right. And I think, yeah, our early game at least is a bit rough sometimes. So,
chaotic.
But I think, yeah, very chaotic. And I think, to be honest, I think the mid game and late game is pretty decent from us, and I think often that's what the hard part in a team, because like that's where you really need to get all the players on the same page, and yeah, stuff like that.
Let me know what happened as soon as you got that perfect kick, because everybody was talking about the Azir shuffle, and everybody was talking about the Varus, but you set it up. You kicked everybody into the same spot. You put them inside of a bucket, and then your team just shook on that bucket, and everybody died. So how did you feel when you got the kick?
Well, it felt very good. I was not sure if I got the 5-man kick, but I saw it afterwards. I did, and it was good. I think often as a jungler, sadly nowadays you just set up your carries, so you all got the shutdowns and all the kills there. But it was a nice feeling, and I'm happy to play Lee Sin. I think often nowadays the junglers just get to play a tank. Get a Maokai, Xin Shao, right, stuff like that. So I'm happy that I got to play a bit something more exciting.
Now going for a tough question for you. Tell me something. Since everybody's fighting for the top 4 and everybody's talking about who's the top 4 team, do you see any other team right now as a contender for the same spot as you're searching for?
Well, I think we are very clearly looking for top 2, and I think the only real opponent for us is Lions Crete. And I think today they looked a bit, they didn't look that well, so that's good for us. And then I think also when we get more scrims going on, we will be a lot better. So
love it. Congratulations on the victory. I'll see you soon. And well,
thank you.
Good luck for tomorrow. Have a nice one.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Jumbo actually raised a really good point there,
okay.
About Lions Creed. He kind of said, everyone kind of predicted them to be the best, and they actually didn't look that great today. I don't think anybody looks infallible right now. I don't think there's a single team that doesn't look like they won't drop games, that they won't... they're not like... I don't think there's a clear first, basically. It's probably the best way to say it.
Yeah.
There's a clear group of teams at the top, but I don't think there's a clear first out of those groups. I think it's still very much open and up in the air on that front.
I cut you off here, Brian, so without further ado, let's talk about what is happening with DMG. Why are they not getting the light? Keep in mind, we are on a live broadcast.
Yes, I will.
I'm kidding.
I was my language off air was probably not particularly appropriate for on air. I have a few issues with DMG. Okay. First of all, they need to stop picking Aphelios. There was an adjective I put in there prior to that in off air. But I think I just think this, like, Aphelios isn't a bad champion so much, but in a sense where, like, right now the meta doesn't give him the time to get to where Aphelios thrives. Like, the games don't go as long for Aphelios to be good. You can't get the items that require Aphelios to be good when you're in lane versus champions who spike on smaller item spikes. Yes, they lined up perfectly to get wombo comboed and absolutely clapped at that Baron pit. That was a complete mistake by them as a team, and whether there was a Jhin on that team or an Aphelios, that mistake would have been a bad fight for them regardless. That you can't blame the Aphelios for that. But there was so many times where, like, it was like, oh, if Aphelios had like another 2 items, this would have been a 1 fight. But, like, you're not going to get those 2 items. So I honestly feel they need to start looking at playing more meta ADCs and getting rid of this Aphelios. It's an ego pick. You can't afford to be doing that. Agony Pain, that man was fighting for his life out there. He played really, really well. There were mistakes, don't get me wrong, but compared to the rest of his team, he played very, very well in this game. And I think he was let down heavily by the fact that the rest of the team weren't able to really enable what he should have been able to do on that Orianna. So I think DMG, I don't think they look bad, but I think there's a lot to work on, and I want to see them work on those things, otherwise I will start calling them bad.
Hey, I love the way you put it. It was...
I can put things eloquently.
Yeah.
When I'm on air and fightings are at risk, I can put things nicely.
I was worried off air. Well, I need to talk with Pride right now because I know we heard everything. So, welcome to the show. That was aggressive, Pride. That was really aggressive. How are you doing? Oh, we're not getting sound, Pride. We're not getting sound. Wait, just a minute. We might get sound close enough. I know the production is doing the best they can to make sure you can talk to us, because I know you can hear me, but I can't hear you. We are not getting anything from you in terms of sound, apparently. That was a fast interview.
They're silencing his comeback for me. Like, so he can't prove me wrong. That's what that was. I've paid them off.
They said you paid them off, and I was like, "Who's that?"
I paid him off. Yes, I did pay him off to eat his clothes.
Well, we had a lot of questions for Pride. Sadly, we won't be able to make them today. Maybe next day we'll be able to put him up and talk to him a little bit. And maybe we can still do it today, because one of the things I really want to ask to, specifically when you're talking with someone that is not part of the team itself and is part of team management, let's call it that, I really like to understand, well, your team started off on the left foot 3 times in a row. How can you keep the mental up? How can you push back the team? Because it's not only gameplay right now, it's also about the mental pressure they're having because they're falling back in terms of points. Those questions are really good. So that's why we're going to make him right now, because Pride is with us on the interview.
Take 2.
Yes! Yes! We got you!
There we go. We got me.
So, first of all, Attack him, right?
I can't attack him, like, we didn't show up today. But it's fine, you know. We will. There's probably like a comeback I can come with, but we will take that a few weeks in when we actually have improved all the things we need to fix. Because you know, as I said last time, this is a rookie team. This is a squad that needs to develop over time, and it doesn't matter if we lose 3 or 4 games early in the season. We can take that back later in the season, and that's the goal.
So tell me, how hard is the job now to look into the team and say, well, we're not getting the results we want to. Don't worry, it's about working off the competitive to the competitive. We might lose, but we're looking in the long run, not on the short run. How hard is it, and how is the team mentality as well?
I mean, I think it's maybe harder for the players because, of course, they want to win and they want to show themselves. But for the staff, me and the coaches, like, we want to just see them improve and improve, right? And this game is a bigger improvement from last week, you know, and it was just a mess up on that Herald fight that, you know, really put us behind. But before that, like, much improvement in the early game from last week. So we just have to keep motivating them and telling them it's going to be like it's going to be a process to get that victory, right? But when that victory comes in, it's going to feel so sweet. So, you know, we just have to keep ensuring them that it's fine to, you know, it's fine to be in this position early because you guys need the experience, first of all. Like, Pearson has the experience, Liam Cole had the experience from last season, but Agony, LVS, and Shift, they are completely new to Division 1 scenes. So, you know, it will come. It will come.
It's a rough job, but someone has to do it, and it's off the screens as well, and people often don't take into consideration the amount of work you guys put in. So best of luck on that one. I know it's a rough one, and let's see what happens for tomorrow, man.
Yeah, lucks for losers.
There you go. Now we're talking. Thank you so much, Brian. You're a loser, Brian.
Hey, I'm not lucky. I'm actually quite unlucky today. Just slightly less unlucky than the rest of you. I will say.
Oh no.
I actually think him not having a comeback was better than anything for me there.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely very humble in the fact that they recognize that there are issues. They obviously still are a rookie team and stuff like that. So it's good to see that. I am still going to be cheering DMG on. I might take the mick a little bit, but, you know, I think at the end of the day, that didn't look like the worst team versus the best team in the league going toe to toe. That's not technically what it was, as far as standings go. Anyway, they still look really, really solid in that game. Obviously, you know, I've raised my issues. I think these are things they need to work on, and as you can see from the interview, it seems like Pride is very much aware of those issues, and I think that's the biggest thing: is being able to recognize those issues is the first step to actually being able to kind of improve and fix them for later weeks. So, you know, he's still got a game tomorrow. They still might find that miracle victory, or
3 games in and already saying miracle victory.
Yeah, they just lost.
Who are they playing tomorrow?
It would be a miracle if they won a game. Well, that is a rough one. But the split is still young. I don't think they're playing
tomorrow.
The split is still young, so let's show who was the MVP of the game. It was the Shuffle, it was Shurima, it was 11:05 at all jumping into this one. Which means you need to look into the Player of the Day vote. We have all our 4 contenders. Warzy, Bucci, Rusty, Snapper, and it all coming in. And, well, look at those scores. Well, they are the MVPs of the day.
Hard.
You pick one.
Yeah.
It is.
This is hard. So I'd actually love to say Warzy, purely because he got me that big upset at the beginning of the day, and he played very, very well on Corki. But Bucci was a lunatic, man. Like, I loved Bucci on the Cassante. He was a complete menace. So I actually, as much as Nord came through for me today, I actually think it's Bucci in my head. That's a personal take, but I'm going to go Bucci.
It was an interesting
That's a tough one to call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's up to you guys back at home. I'm sorry. It's back to them. So even though we put up the MVPs,
it's not up to us. Yeah. Who cares?
We're
just influencing the vote, man. We're just influencing the vote. That's it.
We're just the
I'm sure people really care what I have to say.
Well, I'm really interested in seeing what today's standings are, because it was a shift. It was an interesting day to begin with. We have Natives, Nord, Venomcrest, and Verdant with lines. Oh my. Everybody's tied up in first place, and then followed up by Rudy, Lightside, and at the end, it's DMG Everybody is looking for that first place. My gosh.
It's
I hope
close,
it stays
isn't
like this going into the week 3. I hope like tomorrow everything stays very tight and like we still have a lot of teams at the top. This is like old school NLC.
Yeah.
So anyone who remembers the glory days back when we were over in back when we were in Sweden, there was this whole thing of, especially with Div 2, where like it was not decided right up until the final day. Like everything was still up for plays. Like who took first, who took last was still up in the air. I hope we get a split like that. That's quintessential NLC in my opinion. Like where it's a complete mess. Now obviously there is a drawback to this. Normally when you have like teams all this close, it means EU Masters, EMEA can be a little bit more messy because you don't have like a defined, really solid team to represent you. But I think for the viewing experience, it makes life a lot more fun. So I hope things stay tight. I really do.
Keep my eyes on Light Shield, Lungfist for tomorrow, because was it a fluke that they beat Lions Creed, or are they actually a contender?
I love that idea. So let's look into talent predictions and how it went.
Oof.
It was...
Oh, look at that. Oh, God.
I got 1 point. This was...
Jake, you were off to such a start.
It went real bad, real quick. Aragon caught up. Oh, I hate him so much. That stupid boy.
I feel
going to live forever. Who is that?
I'm going to live forever, though. Don't worry.
Oh, this is painful. So switch it up and let's see how we're... Oh, my...
Wait, Initialize still did bad.
Oh,
what an idiot.
Oh, no.
Oh, I went from 12 points to 0.
Yeah, man.
You lost.
I
You
got
lost 10 points
butchered.
today, didn't you? Yeah.
You lost 10
everything.
points. Archie, you're a goddamn clown, man. What the hell happened
really
there?
poor.
Man,
Sorry.
I'm glad tomorrow's leg day because I have a lot to put out. Well, Initialize is looking at the -2. He's looking in negative degrees. And
Can everyone in Twitch chat just point and laugh at Initialize for me, please? I need him to be.
I feel like production has already done that for you by circling his score. No one else has a circled score.
Wait,
you.
I'm getting information that we're doing a revamp on Go Bold or Go Broke Hit Brain Edition. Wait. Last minute.
I wrote this in a bad. I was in a dark place.
Wait.
I was in a really dark place.
Lions Creed will go undefeated in a regular split. Venom Crest will finish top 4. Aragon finish last in prediction competition by the end. Wait, what?
No, don't do it. Oh no, these are. I might have amended it through the day.
Wait, but
I wrote that before they lost.
But it's gone.
Oh.
It's gone. So
Yeah, I know. It went wrong.
So
it went really wrong.
DMG won't win a single game. Oh my gosh.
I mean, he's still on for 1. Jake, you got to pick a lane,
I'm gonna make a comeback. I promise you. Aragon will lose at the end of the split. He will be at bottom place, and Venom Crest will be top 4. I can still go 2 for 3 here.
All I can say is we are terrible at this game of predictions, but you back at home might be amazing. So head on to Twitter and put on your predictions, and you might win if you're the best. A Steel City's mouse, look at that beauty. Steel City's Aerox 5 wireless mouse. You have the ability to win 1 per week. And if you do win 1, you won't be able to win another one for the rest of the split, but you don't need another one. You just need 1 of these and you're good to go for life. So head on to Twitter, put on your NLC predictions because we are terrible at that. And let us know how good you are. Tag us if possible and laugh at us because I feel pain.
I got the Nord win. That's honestly all the dub I need.
That was amazing.
I'm still sailing that high, man. That was amazing. What a rush. Oh,
yeah.
Nord, I love you. I've won 10 points on Nord, by the way. Like, no, I've let myself down. Nord, I am sorry. I should be doing better by you guys. I'm really sorry.
I just feel pain. Foxtrot, last words of the day before we wrap it up.
Oh, what a fun day that was. We had so many upsets, didn't we? Apart from, my predictions didn't go too well. But I don't think anyone's predictions went well today, did they? But no, aside from that, it was good fun. We're still trying to establish who is the big cheese of the NLC. We got a lot of teams that are trying to figure it out still. I think we kind of have established the git among the pigeons. But aside from that, I would say that it's all up for grabs, the other 7 teams.
I say it's funny that you talk about the big cheese while you're just dressed as a block of cheese right now. Very yellow jumper. It's a bit of a costume day, isn't it, today?
We got more holes in your bold or broke than a Swiss cheese, mate. So I'm just gonna leave that one.
I love it.
Leave that one there.
So, here, Brian, last words of the day.
I love your cricket garb. You looked amazing.
You're just critiquing our outfits, dude.
I've got my Hello Fellow Kids hoodie on today. If I get the cap on the skateboard, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Hello Fellow Kids. No, honestly, Nord, you guys are the real ones. I love you. Venom Crest, you let me down. I had 5 points riding on you. I've got to sell the house now. It's doomed, but I believe you'll make a comeback. DMG, I might have mocked you, but genuinely impressed. Archer, I've really enjoyed being on the desk. I haven't done desk for a while. I'm shouty man, not smart intelligent man. So I've used all of my brain power up for the year now. So next time I'm just gonna be kind of like I'm just not gonna be working.
Thank you so much for that one. Well, from my side, it was a pleasure to have both of you and to have you back at home watching, and I'll see you together with us. So be sure to stay tuned for tomorrow at the same hour. We have another day. It's day 4 or day 2 of week 2. My predictions are terrible. That was the only thing I had in life, and they stole it from me. So I'll be able to go for revenge tomorrow. I'll see you soon. Keep climbing. Never stop.
At SteelSeries, we make the headsets, mice and keyboards that the world's best gamers win the most with. And we've been doing it since way back. It's up to you how far you go, but whatever you do, go for glory.
G'day there, mates. I'm Bruce Brisbane, 8-time runner-up Australian Wildlife Presenter of the Year, and recently exonerated Stingray trainer. The top blokes of the NLC have chat me a ripper gig to give you a fair dinkum tour of Summoner's Rift, showcasing some of the wild critters you're going to be copping an eyeful of in 2024. First up, the Void Grubbies. These guys are new to Summoner's Rift and fresher than a cold one on a scorching arvo. Knock off these drongos early and they'll just come right back like a bad rash. Like most river critters up the top end, they're not fond of blooming construction messing with their turf, dishing out bonuses to the team that kills them to take down those structures. Take down a bunch and them tails will be more covered in mozzies than me after a night out in the bush. Now, let's meet the Rift Arrow. She's dolled up and tougher in a one-on-one stoush. But remember, you can always give her a cheeky poke in the peeper if she's causing you strife. Play your cards right, she might even give you a lift straight into the enemy towers. Crikey! Baron Nesh has copped a makeover too, now split into 3 new subspecies with teeth as gnarly as a pony's and breath that'll make a dingo blush. Each one got its own bag of tricks, some even reshaping the joint around them. Buffed up and beefed up, you'll need a couple cobbers if you want to take these legends down. When Baron spawns in, Red Buff, Blue Buff and Rift Sculler get a fresh coat of paint, with the Rift Sculler giving a big burst of vision and buff share globally, so even the Bogons splitting down bot lane get a slice of the meat pie. Now, that's the lowdown from me, Bruce Brisbane. Make sure you chuck on the telly every Wednesday and Thursday to the NLC for top-notch Northern European League of Legends action. See ya, legends!